Building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in house like Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history,
it's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Hello, good morning and welcome to National Discourse. Of course, we are still committed to the unity of Nigeria. It's still at our priority. And then today we are looking at APC convention in view. Of course, we are all aware of what happened during the state congresses that was held across Nigeria. Now I have people in the studio, I have APC members in the studio to help us dissect or digest what we're going to see or what we hope to see on Saturday the 23rd of June, which is APC National Convention. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll go into straight what we have today. I still remain your host, Uche Uduma. See you there.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in house like Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
what happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history,
it's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Well, I contested several times. I contested in 2013 under the ACN, and which was a councillor. I contested for councillor who said what councillor, but I lost the election. And in 2016, I came out again for the primary. So I wasn't the flag bearer for the party. So and by the grace of God, I've been with the party from grassroots. So.
All right.
Wow. It's we're looking up to a very wonderful outing on Saturday, because if you look back, you find out that we just came up from the state congresses,
okay,
and local government ward level, and there were some issues that came up.
Don't worry, don't even go there.
And all those
we'll go there.
Okay, and all those things have been put in check, and we're looking forward to having a very successful national convention that will usher in a new leadership for the party to pilot the affairs of the party going forward to 2019 election. And we're hoping that everything will work out well as planned, because all hands are on deck to have a successful outing on Saturday.
Now, sir, looking back at the state congresses that were held, now out of how many states we had, like 26 states across the federation that were marred with irregularities and stuff like that. Now, looking at that again, what do we hope to see on Saturday? Yeah,
you see, all that has been put in check by the grace of God. For the convention, every state that had the issues that they had for the congresses and all that has been put in check. And I think we're going to have a perfect convention. And what we are saying here today, why we have come on here, is to make people understand that the APC is ready to give Nigerians the greatest convention they've ever seen before.
Now, when you talk about the issues that surrounded the state congresses, what were the major issues, to be very honest?
Well, you see, that's a very good question. But you see, some of them is just disagreement and all that has happened. And but I think by the grace of God, because everything was able to be resolved, and they all went into dialogues and all that, so they have no issues than to all come back as party members to see how we can get it done. Because even when they have issues when it comes to the congresses and all that, but later they all have to sit down and see, okay, they have to dialogue and make sure that it works.
Now, most of the issues they were raised during the Congress, do you think we don't have any aggrieved party, or aggrieved party still left in the game? Because I know many people are still planning on leaving APC. We'll still come to that, the reason why people would want to cross-carpet from APC to which other party that is available to them.
Well, if you look at it, you find out that in a family there must be disagreements, and we disagree to agree in all cases. So when you say people that are thinking to leave the party, or that have one or two issues coming out from the primaries of the congresses that was conducted, well, after the congresses, the party set up a committee in all the states that looked into the matters arising from the elections, and those committees had to look downward, did their investigation, did their findings, and called the aggrieved parties and resolved a lot of conflicts in those states. You know, because about last 2 weeks, the state chairmen were sworn into office at the National Secretariat of the party at Tusetu. So looking at that, you find out that a lot of people have been, put down by the agitations of, they were, jilted one way or the other, but they calmed them down, make them understand reasons that you have to support the party, you have to put self down and put collective interest, which is shared interest, first before any other thing, because the party is supreme, and anything we are doing, we are here to support the party and promote the party. So we must let Nigerians know that the party is ready to pilot the affairs, because it's the governing party, and we have to show leadership by example. So going forward to the national convention, a lot of issues have been put down. So, but like what you just said, you have one or two people, one corner saying one or two things. It's normal in politics, even anywhere in life is normal, because you always have one or two people that will still tell you they're not happy, they're not satisfied. But at the end of the day, you cannot please everybody. But what matters is you have to please at least 90%. That shows that you're on course. And that's what the party has done.
Looking at the party formation, right? We still have John Oyegadigun there as the man spearheading the affairs of APC at the national level. Now, the convention, we know that part of the of the activities that characterize the convention is election, to determine key positions and all that. Now, who are these people, and what are we actually expecting on Saturday?
We're expecting a very good, successful outing, because if you look at what the party has done, the party set up a convention committee comprising of all the quarters, all the parties in the body, like every areas that have people, even from the support group where I come up from. We have what we call coalition of APC support group. That's all the umbrella of all the support group come together in one place. We have representatives in that committee that is preparing for that convention that is coming up. So what the party did, the party made sure that they had a face that represents the larger people of the party, because the party belongs to the masses. Oyegu is the national chairman. He has piloted the affairs of the party for like 3 years plus, almost 4 years now, and he has done well in his own side. But looking at what we are looking at for on Saturday, the party is going to have over 40-something positions thrown out for people to contest for, which is going to be free and fair. It's going to be open. Nigerians are going to see a very transparent system where everybody will cast their vote on the ballot.
You said free and fair?
Yes, free and fair. Very, very free and fair. It's going to be a smooth thing, because it's going to be broadcast live. And you're going to watch it.
Even the things that are not fair, they are still broadcasted. So
no, but what he means, sorry for cutting you there. What he means is, by the grace of God, everything has been put in place. There's not going to be any issues, and everybody will watch where the votes and all that will be counted.
All right. Now, looking at the contestants, of course, for at least the national chairmanship. Now, we know Shomole is coming out, and I'm not aware, or I'm not very sure that we have other very strong persons coming out to contest for this position.
Well, for me, you see, in every position there will be competition, but as long as I'm concerned, Oshomola is the man that every one of us has seen his track record. If you talk about the things he has done over time, moving from Labour Congress and all that, if you talk about Labour chairman.
What are the tangible things that Oshomola have done? Oshomola earn him that chairmanship position.
See, Oshomola has fought for the youth over right from day one, not even today. And if you check also his record,
he has fought for the youth.
Yes.
To be in leadership, or he has fought for them to have food?
To have food. See, let me tell you, when you say to be in, not to be in leadership, when he was the Labour chairman, he was someone who was a mouthpiece to the general public. So, and with all those records, I have seen him, even when he became the governor, when after the rigging and everything they did, and before the court called him back to office in 2000. So what I'm trying to say is someone that no one can, if Oshomole comes in as the party chairman now, is going to reorganize the party with all these issues we are talking about from the Congress and all that.
Are you saying that these issues fell short of John Oyegu to put them in place or put them in check?
You see, it's not that. He's been doing too good too. But the point I am trying to bring out of this, we need a man of the people, a man that can talk for the masses, a man that can come out with one voice. You see, I don't want to compare Oshomole with Oyegu. Oyegu has done well in his own part, but I am very convinced when my boss Oshomole, you know why I call him my boss? He's somebody that I look up to when it comes to political background. He's someone that he loves to fight for the masses. He loves to make sure that everything goes right. So by the grace of God, now that APC is having these little issues you're talking about.
Did you call it little?
Yeah, it's little, because I know it's all going to be resolved.
Now, how do you feel? A certain party was in power for 16 years. All right, and we know the point at which they started having issues that actually came to the public. But APC is just 3 years plus. Even before they marked their third day in office, there were issues already. There were serious issues. The first Congress they are holding, or the first convention is still coming. Talk about the state congresses we held across Nigeria. Was characterized with a lot of irregularities and so forth. Do you think APC can actually survive? Do you think, let me rephrase that question. Do you think APC can actually maintain, the status quo that they have now next year?
Yes. You see, looking at, like what you just said, a certain party has been in power for 16 years. Yes.
You can feel free to mention the name. I mean, this is politics.
I know. A certain power, a certain party has been in power for 16 years, which is PDP, and they had their own turn. They had their crisis. You know, what's happened is that I always tell people that you don't wait to get hit before you start fixing your house. You know, you can learn from other people's past mistakes. So because as APC is, we are already coming out from the so-called crisis, like people are putting it in quotes, but they don't understand because people must give a political undertone to everything.
No,
but I'm coming.
Crisis is
I'm coming.
Whether political or economic.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make here is that people must give a color to it because of what they want to let people understand about the issue that's coming up. Are you
saying there was never a crisis?
There are issues, like I said, there are issues, like what we said. Okay. But I told you earlier on.
You prefer to use the name issues?
Yeah, there are issues. There must be conflict.
Sure.
You must have conflict, even in family settings. There are conflict. But what makes you...
We are not arguing that. You're saying, if you could have this kind of crisis, just in less than 3 years.
Yes.
How are we sure you're going to move
now, let me now come in. The reason why we are having that for 3 years is because, one, you look at a party that came into power, and when they came into power, before the merger, you had like 3-4 parties coming together and other smaller parties, and everybody came together was just for getting power. And a lot of things is like, let's just build this thing, let's just get this thing. Now when they came on board, sharing formula, how do we do this, how do this, a lot of people start coming up with their own issues that you must be settled. Like today, now up till now, like yesterday on the news, you hear the PDP fraction in APC.
It's not PDP fraction, it's called the new PDP.
The new PDP.
Call the name the way it is.
Okay, the new PDP.
I was actually going there.
Now I'm coming. They said the new PDP are demanding this, demanding that, and they wanted to meet with Mr. President. And Mr. President right now has like not, you know, giving them time to hear them out and all that. You know, but when you look at that, like what Honorable Jubrin, you know, from Kanu, said one time on Channels TV, he said that who are this new PDP? Who are this new PDP? Because they are the people that left PDP. The likes of the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amici, the former governor of Sokoto, the Aliu Wamakata, the governor now of Sokoto, who is the former speaker, Waziri Tambua, and Koso, named them, all of them. And today you have them, we have ministers among them, we have so many of them in party secretariat. They gave them slots. Saraki is the Senate President, he came from PDP. Dogara is the Speaker, he came from PDP. Saraki is the one that brought this APC Publicity Secretary. He's the one that brought him. Amechi brought somebody. Kwankwaso brought somebody. All of them brought people that are serving in the National Secretariat. So he now said, he asked the question, so who is now complaining that they've not been settled? So who are the people? And that is why Mr. President, if you look at Mr. President, people talk and at times he just looks at them and he just does what he wants to do because he knows that those things are not important.
Now, calm down. Doing what he always wants to do is a problem for us.
Like,
in the party is not our problem.
The party is not our problem.
We're talking about democracy now.
Democracy, the president is following the law.
Doing what?
He is following the law.
We'll come back to that.
He's following the law.
Calm down. Let's deal with APC chairmanship contest. Now we have Oshomole, like I asked. Who else is coming out?
Actually, we have like I can't really call their name, but we have some other people that were just for the same, but they stepped down. That's why he's not.
So are you saying Oshomole is standing unopposed on Saturday?
He's not standing unopposed. He's not standing unopposed. But what I'm trying to.
You said some persons.
Some other people are. Yes, some people stepped down, and the other ones, you know, they are not that, you know, outspoken and all that. People, that's why a lot of people didn't hear about them. Because, and why it is like that, just like what he said. Oshomole, to me, as a party man, is the right man for the job. Because, like I've always told people, we are the grassroots. We are the ones that brought this party to where it is. Forget the big names you are hearing and all that. We did the underground work. Till today, in the party, they know. So, Oshomole is the man that we mend fences. Like you said, there are issues here and there. Oshomole is the only person that can reach out. He goes out of his own comfort to see how he okay, like tomorrow he's going to have an interactive section 2 p.m. at Immaculate Hotel Use 2 to discuss with people, hear from the public, hear from the party faithfuls and everybody, because he's a man that wants to understand what these people really want, so that he will know the way to galvanize and bring people together. Because if you look at Edo State, for example, where he came out from, you see what he did in Edo before he brought Obaseki. And he's that kind of person that he's always outspoken, he speaks for the people, and he stands for what is just. And we feel that going forward to this 2019 election, the man that is going to help APC retain power is Oshomole.
Yes. Now, what's the striking difference between Oshomole and Dino Melaye? Going to what you said, he's the one he's the man that speaks for the people.
Yeah.
Is there any striking difference between Oshomole and Dino Melaye?
There's a big striking difference.
Yeah. Can I hear that?
Very big, because if you look at the person of Senator Dino Melaye, Melaye to me is somebody that, he speaks, but to me, I just felt that he's not really speaking for me as a person. He speaks.
Why? But you feel Oshomole is speaking for you?
Yeah, Oshomole is speaking.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
Oshomole is somebody that reached out. Because even when he was in Labour Union, he was president for Labour for so many years. Look at the achievements he got.
No, calm down. You said you don't think Senator Dino Melaye speaks for you.
Yeah.
But you think Oshomole does that. In what ways?
Oshomole does that by trying to bring people on board that matters to drive the party. Driving the party, because even before he said he was going to run for this chairmanship, when he left Edo governorship, he was moving from one place to the other in the party, trying to mend fences, even when the party did not send him.
Are you aware that criticizing the government is a right enshrined in the constitution?
Of course.
Yes,
I know.
So, are you saying that because Senator Dino Melaye does straight to the government, it does not have any direct effect on you?
No, not really. Not really. What I'm saying is
I'm still trying to get the difference between Oshomole and Senator
to me,
Dino Melaye.
this is my own personal opinion. Dino actually at times, says what is supposed to be said, but at times the attitude and all that he puts in, to me, I don't really feel.
Because he attacks the government in power?
Not really, but I think the way he goes about it, to me, that's what I just feel is wrong. But that's my own perception. I can't speak for other people,
Okay, now as youth, sir, right?
Yeah.
You said Oshomole, why you're supporting him is because he fights for the youth.
Yeah.
Now, as young people you are, there was a bill that was passed recently, not too young to run. And two of you are in APC, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, do you support such a bill as young people of Nigeria?
Well, for me, I support it for a reason, because you see, we are all youth, and if we have such bill, it's going to give all of us the platform, and some of us who are having the intention of becoming, well, those who are having the intention of becoming politicians and all that.
You have such intention?
Yes,
Would you achieve that in APC?
I can achieve that.
Not too young to run?
Yes, I can achieve it.
In APC?
You see, even from now, I am someone who from before that bill was passed, I had it in mind that very soon, maybe in 2023 or 2027, I'm going to be contesting for governorship in my state.
By 2027,
yes.
Probably you're already, going off on that young age.
It's possible.
Talking about the way you earn as youths.
Yes, it's very possible.
Can you achieve not too young to run in APC? That's
we can achieve it, because if you check the deputy governor of Edo State, he's a young boy, and someone like Oshomole brought him, and the guy is delivering today. So the point is, why I am saying this is very possible for anybody. All you need is to believe in yourself and get all the necessary things you need to do. If all of us as youth come out, we will be able to push out some of these people. If we defeat them in a proper election, nobody is going to stop you from becoming.
Now, in the light of still not too young to run bill, of course, I'm still seeking your opinion, sir.
Yeah.
Now, looking at that, are we saying there's no young person in APC, at least to vie for the chairmanship position, that you young people can support?
They are.
They are.
Okay.
They are. Looking at this not too young to run thing, if you look at the positions in APC, you find out that a lot of young chaps are vying for other positions.
We are talking about the chairmanship.
The chairmanship presently, there's no young person vying for that position.
Why is it so?
I don't know, because
and you people are young people?
That's what I'm calling. Let me tell you something. You see, this thing has to do with self. You can't force somebody to come out for what he or she does not believe he or she
you rather would want to support someone else. Like, all your support and allegiance is on someone.
Yes, we are supporting someone
for a reason.
Someone for a purpose.
Now,
yes,
if a young person emerges now or had emerged to contest with Oshomole, what would have been your reactions?
Well, if
What
the
would you have
person
tended to?
is able to convince us, and you know,
What do you mean by this convention? When you are not giving the person, you know, an opportunity to show what the person can
do. The good thing is when someone is tested or trusted is also one problem we have in the nation.
Good.
You see, if you talk about even me, I'm not too small to be the party chairman, but the point is, yes, I'm not too small. But the point,
I don't know what you believe in, seriously.
But the point I'm trying to bring out of this, you know, right now, talking about the crisis you said, in quote, this crisis, we need a man who already knows the game, who already knows how it will work for the party. But with time, you know, maybe if we are going to be able to successfully get this person, like now, since the bill has been passed, by the grace of God, over me or him, tomorrow we might be thinking of doing something bigger.
Why didn't you start it now? The bill has been passed.
The point is,
because you are saying that Oshomole, because he's been tested and trusted.
Yes.
He first had an opportunity to prove himself.
Now let me come in there.
Okay. Yeah.
You see, like when you were just talking about the not too young to run thing, the young man becoming the chairman, it's visible, you know, because like, let me use myself as an example, because I started politics more than a decade. I did not wait for one godfather to tell me, come, I'm going to push you here, I'm going to do this for you. I saw the need to go into Nigerian politics and contribute my quota. And I started the journey. I started with AMPP. And in AMPP, I started from the polling unit, where they cast votes. That was where I started serving the party. From that point, I rose to the ward executive. From there, I rose to the CPC party. When the CPC was formed, I was an executive in the CPC. We formed the party.
You left AMPP to
and
CPC.
yeah, when Buhari formed CPC.
Still part of the cross-carpeting team.
No, not cross-carpeting. I'm not cross-carpeting.
Coalition.
Now let me tell you. It's not, let me explain. Let me explain. Okay. I am somebody that sees President Muhammadu Buhari as a mentor. Long time ago.
We are going there.
I'm coming.
Go there.
No,
we're talking about the party.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm coming towards that your angle. I just want to give you a track to know that a young man can do that, but on one condition. You know, people had this not too young to run, and they just believe because a bill has been passed, automatically become president. It's not possible. There's no free meal in Freetown. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. That's what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make is that you need to let these people see you. You need to let people believe in you, that you can do this, that if given this opportunity, this platform, you can drive the system.
The opportunity never comes.
The opportunity will come if only you are, I'm coming. The opportunity will come if only you are prepared. Because one, you must navigate towards that direction.
No, hold on. Let's do simple logic here, right? Good. Now, you said you started politics like a decade ago.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to ask your age.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
No problem.
Okay, now, in a bid to still train yourself with your mentors.
Yeah.
And, of course, you're still believing that you're still looking for an opportunity to prove yourself. And by the time you're doing that, I'm not really saying you, I'm using an example.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, by the time the person starts doing that, you're looking for an opportunity to prove yourself. There are certain things you must do for people to believe in you.
Yeah.
And by the time you are done with that, you have crossed that age. What have you achieved? As
You
a
have
young
achieved.
person?
You have achieved so much. You see, there's a problem with Nigeria. Nigerians believe so much in you must be in position, you must be this before you can do that.
Sir, we are talking about being in position.
That's what I'm saying.
Not helping people be in the position.
You are not helping people. One man sits on the seat, but there are so many people behind
The question
that make
is,
the system
the
work.
man that sits on that seat, must it be an old person? That's
It
the
must
problem.
not be an old person. So now let me tell you, let me be frank with you, because I understand where you're going to, but let me be honest with you. In this part of the country, in this part of the what I play in the continent, Nigeria precisely, you find out that our political system has to do with much on financing. You want to go for a position. As I speak to you now, I can run for Senate and win in Anambra State. I'm from Anambra State. I can run and I can give a good fight with anybody that is coming out.
What's the name again?
My name is Comrade Molo Kuchukwebuka Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, but the only problem we have is not the youth. The youth are not the problem. The youth have what it takes. They present themselves. They give their best. But the Nigerian people are the ones to take the bull by the horn and say, yes, enough is enough. let us give these guys a chance, because these other people, they started ruling us when they were 29, when they were 27,
the same people you are still
and they are still running. No. But, you see, on that angle of the same people I'm supporting, I will give you a reason why I am supporting. I am supporting because at this point in Nigeria, we need to sanitize the system, and for so long,
you don't trust a young person to.
Let me tell you, a young man has not put himself up.
Really?
Let the young man put himself up. We will check the young man before we can say we are moving. Now, let me tell you something. We've been in this country for years, apart from party affiliation or diverge of sentiment or whatever. We've seen presidents come and gone. But I have never seen, since I was born, a president of Nigeria that will sit down and said, return the money you stole from this country.
We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, you have the opportunity to, say all that. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
The administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in house like Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
We see beyond the news. We are concerned about how it affects you, bringing updates on the economy, government and politics, sports and so much more. We are committed to informing, educating and entertaining you. We are NCTV, Nigeria Central Television. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. NCTV, strictly Nigeria.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation
The
building.
administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in house like Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
All right, you're back from that short break, and of course, I'm still in the studio with my APC, party members, still talking about APC convention in view. We're looking at Saturday, the 23rd of June, and we've tried to look at so many things, surrounding the convention, and they've been trying to justify the reason why APC is still in power and still, is supposed to be in power next year. And that is exactly where I'm moving on to, sir. Before we went for that short break, we were trying to bring out some things, the reason why some presidents have come and gone, and the reason why you're trying to, you believe rightly in Mr. President. Now, what is your justification?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, the president that I know is a man of justice and fairness. He's a man of little words, and they call him Baba Go Slow. But he said, I'd rather go slow, steady, and win the race, which is actually becoming. Because if you look at this administration, you find out that when this administration came on board, there were a lot of issues. But by the grace of God today, gradually, Nigeria is coming up from those problems.
There were not issues, there was recession.
It's part of issues.
Recession I just wanted you to like call the
okay, you want to call the name recession. Yes. And by the grace of God, we are coming out from it. And if you look at
that,
yes, of course.
The of Gary is still 200 and
it will take time to come down, but we are coming out from it. Even when you look at the inflation rate, it's dropping. Now, when you look at our international, perception, the way they see Nigerians abroad.
Sir, when you want to talk about evaluating the Nigerian president, right, like past administrations and present administrations, I would want us to confine ourselves to this national discourse, and it's all about Nigeria. To confine yourself with how Nigerians feel, or how this administration or the past administrations were able to directly impact the lives of Nigerians. I don't expect you to say otherwise because you're APC members, right? But we're looking at what we have gained as Nigerians. What can the common man on the street, sorry to use the word, what can the ordinary person on the street wake up and talk about this administration away from sentiment? That's the question.
The common man on the street will tell you that this administration is fighting corruption. It's fighting corruption because the major problem Nigeria has had over decades is the same corruption.
Hold on, I think we have a call for you. Yeah, good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Kaziru Musa. I'm calling from Venezuela.
Please, could you turn down the volume of your TV set?
Okay.
All right, please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead. You've lost the call. Okay, I guess network is very bad. So continue. Now, my question, let me rephrase. What would the common man on the street,
that's what I'm saying,
that is not probably an APC member, talk about the present government?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. The common man on the street will tell you this government is fighting corruption. And in the fight for corruption, the people are feeling the heat because the money is not circulating as it used to be, because a lot of people have stolen our commonwealth, and they went and they hid these monies several places. And if you look at like Abuja, to be precise, because I reside here, you see most of those people that are into property business, for example, previously you see them buying cars, they will tell you today they hit one deal or that, but since this administration came on board, you never hear any of them talk about such, because one, there's no free money going around like before. This government is telling Nigerians that you need to work for that money, work for it, because before this money were going around, free money, because people steal from government coffers and nobody's asking them.
How does that affect the price of goods in the market?
It will affect the prices of goods with time, because these things we are talking about, Nigeria, we've gone green. Agriculture, we are boosting our agricultural produce.
We have always been into agriculture,
but right now we've improved.
It's not like it just started.
I know, but we have improved. We've improved now rapidly, and just like what there was a time the vice president was talking about price control and all that. But if you look at the real sense, the law of demand and supply, the visible hand in the market controls the thing. So because the thing I see about Nigerians is that when prices goes up, it's difficult for it to come down. That's a Nigerian thing for you. Even when you try to, Nigerian people, I always tell people that the major problem we have is us, not even just the government, because the government is the people.
I agree with you.
Because naturally, the law of demand and supply should control the market forces. But in Nigeria, at times, it's not working. Because the people will tell you this thing has gone like this and they are making money from it. For it to come down, it's a problem. Even when they buy it at
Over
a
cheap,
subsidized
yes,
rate,
yes.
they will find it difficult to slash the price
slash
because they
it.
want to
Sir,
make more profit.
The fight against corruption, is it justified? Now, there are reasons why this administration was voted into power. 2015, you can retrace your steps backwards, or you can flash back, have a flash on your memory. You discover that people voted this government because of the name change or the magazine change, right?
Change, yeah.
Good, of which fighting corruption is part of it, boosting the economy and of course security. Now, looking at these three indices, would you say that the APC-led government have done well in the past 3 years? And what are your indications?
Well, for me, I would say yes, because why I would say yes is if you talk about the security aspect, this government
People
has
are
done,
still being killed in Benue State.
but we know,
As
but
of Saturday.
not as before. You know, a Rome is not built in a day.
Not before we had just Boko Haram, and right now we have Boko Haram and Fulani headsmen.
The Boko Haram was worse. You know what I mean by that? You see, Buhari, you know, when you are in government, people are bringing up issues and trying to fight your government. So he's doing his best. When you talk about security, don't even mention it. I know by the grace of God we've done well when it comes to,
security?
yes, better than before. I'm not saying it's 100% good yet, but you know, he's in government and a lot of people and all that will fight the government trying to, but that's one.
No, sure, it's
then,
politics.
Yes, two.
APC fought
Then
PDP
two,
while
when
they were
you
in
talk
power.
about, where you talk about, you talk about security is settled. Where you talk about
to you, security is
not,
settled.
yes, it's still working and it's still going to work better than this by the grace of God.
All right.
So, and where you talk about corruption,
the fight is still ongoing.
it's ongoing, and me and you will say if most of those money that has been recovered, that has been people have been dropping, they have been collecting, if those
been used,
yes, if those money, they will be. I don't know. I'm not talking about if they.
No,
have been used.
I'm actually waiting for.
I'm not saying. But the point I'm trying to bring here is, in the former government, you know, for the 16 years they ruled, there were a lot of money that was stolen and all that,
and
all
they never
that.
fought corruption.
Yes, and now you see, even like he said, he mentioned something when he talked about the properties and people before we celebrate. But this government is making you understand that you have to work hard. Even me, my job or business I do is not as easy as before. So, and I'm not saying it's not good. It's good for a reason, because one, no free money. But those times when you have free money, people are sleeping. They are waiting for, but now everybody has to come out to work hard to get something so that you can earn a living for yourself or your family. So I support that, because you see, why I support that, I mean, I'm a young, hardworking youth, and so many people who cannot even work as hard as you can, they are getting free money from every angle, and tomorrow you see them lavishing money and all that.
What happens to that common woman inside the market that doesn't have access to anything free, doesn't even know where the government is located? She's just there. That woman just in the market selling her ugu or crayfish or something.
You remembered when he said something.
All those things, how does it affect that woman inside?
Yeah, because like we said, if everything goes on well, even by the time they get the things they're selling in so prices or in a subsidized price and all that, they might not be interested in even bringing the price down. He made that point earlier on, that this is a part of the problem we have when a government in Nigeria, our sense or thinking or the way we think is, by the time something has gone up, for you to bring it back. But the government is working tirelessly to make sure that everything comes down and everything comes back to a better way. And the fight that Buhari is fighting now might be for a while. But I am telling you and over the viewers that by the grace of God, they will see the good work of the president.
What if APC doesn't come back next year?
Now let me...
What would you use to measure this administration? Because all we are talking about now, you're talking about 3 years.
Yeah.
And so long as you and I know we have entered into political campaign and all that, so we just have 3 years stopped there. Yeah. Now, what if APC does not come back? I know this is what you want, but we are saying it's politics. If what happened in 2015 could happen again, what would be your measurement?
Now, like he said, before I come to that your question, if you look at in the news of recent, Nigeria is closing border for a purpose. Why? Smuggling.
Nigeria has been closing
border. No.
And this time around,
no, my dear, this time around is a different scenario all put together, because one, you find out the influx of smuggled rice, And here we have a lot of
when
rice
this
production
administration came in, sir,
and
may I just remind you, when this administration came in, the first thing it did was border issues, right? Don't bring in rice.
Yeah, don't bring in.
Let us do our local farming and everything. And this is 3 years down the line. We still have foreign rice everywhere.
Now let me come in there.
So,
That's what
border are you
that was
talking
what
about?
he was trying to tell you. You see, the problem of Nigeria is not Mr. President.
No. Nobody's saying
Now,
that.
I want to hammer it. Let Nigerians understand. We are our own problem because the man guarding the border is an Igbo man, is an Hausa man, is a Yoruba man, is a Muslim, is a Christian, all tribes.
Yes.
But they do what we call, they sabotage the system for their own selfish interest.
It has always been like
No.
that.
So we need to change our mindset.
Hold on. Even while PDP
We need
was,
to change
was
our
in power,
mindset.
it wasn't Goodluck Jonathan.
We need to
We still
change
have
our
some people in
mindset.
positions doing their thing.
No, that's what
But the truth is, for every government, there is always one person to get the success story, and there's always one person to be blamed for everything.
We understand.
Good.
But what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to, jilt away from the reality that the man on top of the hem of affair must, shoulder all the problems and successes when it occurs and all that. Now, looking at the election, like you said, if APC were not to be in power by 2019,
what would be your
by
measurement?
your own. My measurement as a person.
What would you say, well, this is what we've done?
Yeah, that's what I want to tell you. My own measurement, I'll be proud, which I know is not going to happen, but I will be proud to say.
How would you say you know it's not going to happen?
For sure, by the grace of
We are
God.
going to have election, not selection.
We are having election. But
Yes, an election.
I know
But
for one that for what Mr. President has done in 3 years, he is going to get the mandate of Nigeria to continue the good work, because for me, he is work in progress. One, let me tell you, like what you said, I want to draw you back memory lane. When this government came on board, the previous administration had 1 or 2 things they were doing before they left. We've had several governments come and gone. When you meet a government, you abandon whatever they are doing, you bring your own initiative because you want to make one money or the other. But this is the first government I have seen in Nigeria that has continued all abandoned projects.
Can you mention such projects?
Look at the second Niger bridge. Look at the second Niger bridge.
The first thing Mr. President did when he came in was to shut down
Look at the second Niger bridge.
Are you aware that we had youths that we are benefiting from UWIN project?
I'm coming. UWIN is a fraud.
Good.
UWIN is a fraud. It's part of what we're talking about. Now let me tell you, it is where they used to siphon money. I want to tell you categorically that this thing is what I know. I know 1 or 2 people that have been enlisted in UWIN. They don't do anything. They are not even in Abuja. They pay money into their account. UWIN is a fraud. And a lot of people in those places, they fix their friends, their whatever, and just use it to push our money.
What is the difference between UWIN and
there's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Calm down.
The end power thing.
Good. What's the difference? I know so many people
let me come.
But they are busy doing their work at their places and they're being paid every month.
The empower thing is different.
So, why is it different?
Now let me tell you. That I won't tell you. The empower, you have your supervisors. You have people you report to. You have places you are supposed to go and render service. In agriculture, in artisan, teaching, whatever. And at the end of the day, just like as you came to your office this morning, you have to sign in and sign out because there are people watching over you.
Sir, I can categorically tell you that.
Yes.
I have so many friends.
Yes.
That they do their thing at the end of the month. 30,000 naira comes into their account. They don't even go there. So when you're talking about Nigerian problem or culture or whatever, it's not there. And I'm asking, what's the difference between these two things?
There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Sorry, can I just pick this call?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello? 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 Network is very bad.
Okay.
Now,
now, hold on. Now, in Nigeria, there are certain things you can't do devoid of whatever thing you're scared of. Do you understand? I just wanted to bring an example of this continuation of project and starting up a new one. At the end of the day, we are having the same effect. I can tell you categorically.
No, not the same. I disagree.
Not the same.
I disagree with you. It's not the same.
Yeah, there's a call.
Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set? I'm fine, thank you very much. Please, could you go ahead? We've lost the call. I think the network is very poor.
Now, when you talk of the same bandwagon effect and all that, it's not the same because Like,
I've not seen any different from
there's
what
a
you're
big
saying.
difference. There's a big difference.
I want
That's
to hear it. And of
what I'm
course,
telling you.
people want to hear it.
When, like I told you, second Niger Bridge, you did not talk about
Sir,
it.
I'm coming back.
Second Niger Bridge. No, let me talk on it.
I am talking on the ones that I can tell you.
You talk about
everything that happens there.
You were talking about the UWIN and the Empower stuff.
Yes.
Now I said
clear discontinuation of project, but we're having the same effect.
Now, like what you said, you know one or two people. I cannot tell you that maybe it's a lie or it's true because
Yes,
I don't know those people.
Yeah.
But the ones I know, the people I know that are in this Empower project, they go for their work.
And then the people you knew from UWIN, they don't go.
I know people that collect money.
It's the same
and
thing.
They don't work there.
But what I can tell you is the same thing. The same Nigerian factor is happening there.
Yeah, but what he's saying, and what the point is trying to
I understand the second Niger Bridge there, but I'm bringing to your notice
is not
a
as
clear discontinuation of project.
But now let me come in on that issue. The second Niger Bridge is a very big achievement. It's a big achievement to President Muhammadu Buhari's government because
he didn't start it.
That's not the point.
What's the point?
The point is
he continued the project that someone else started.
Where was the project when he came?
The government has to stop now.
No. You said it didn't start. Are you aware?
Calm down.
Are you aware that the project has not even started?
My question is.
They wanted to, but they did not do it.
There are projects that Mr. President have started now. And it happens that by next week, that APC did not come back to power. Are you saying that there's not going to be continuation of such
I am not sure. I don't know.
Why would you say that?
I am not sure because we are used to the same system. This is a different government that has turned things around. Now let me tell you, that second Niger Bridge stuff is something that I don't like people to just sweep under the carpet. I don't like it when Nigerians say, no, I won't take that.
The truth is, you're entitled to your opinion,
because
and the next person is entitled to the
The past government voted money for that project. Are you aware?
Yes.
They voted money for that project and nothing was done.
Were you part of the people that voted in the money?
I browse, I get information, I know what's going on in Nigeria. They voted money for that project and nothing was done. But this government came on board and told the southeasterners that they are going to connect that bridge to ease off the other bridge, and the job is almost 50% completed.
And to the best of your knowledge, ever since that project started, no kind of money have been siphoned otherwise.
Siphoned by whoever? No, I don't. I don't think so. You can. You are a journalist. You can investigate.
No, of course, I don't expect anything less from what you're telling me.
You can investigate because this government, to me, is proactive when it comes to project management. Yeah. There are so many instances that I can give you.
How many other projects? Now,
the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
There was. Calm down. There was this press statement that Mr. President released.
What's that?
All right, and he said, and I quote him, that ever since he left as PTF chairman, that Nigeria have not built one road. How true is that statement?
Actually,
and if that statement is true, he did not say till he took over power in 2015.
I can't really.
If that statement is true, all the roads you are talking about that he built, who did them?
The roads he built, who did them? As at 1990 something.
No, he said ever since he left as PTF chairman.
That was 1990 something.
Good,
when Abacha was
have
president.
Not built any road. And I'm asking you, as APC loyalist, how true is that statement?
I can't say what I don't know.
Okay.
For me,
you're not aware of the press release.
I don't know. I've not had that, so I don't know. So I can't say. I can't give my own point.
Okay, now we have just 3 minutes to go. Okay. You have tried to, of course, say the things that we want to hear as, of course, myself and, of course, the viewers, because this is where you come out from. It would have been different if probably I'm PDP or I have another PDP member here. It would have been different that you're saying your opinion and then the person is saying, but two of you, fortunately, are from the same party, APC, and of course, like I said, we are not expecting anything less from what we are
most
gathering.
of the things we've said here is the fact.
No, nobody is arguing that. But we are saying you just said what you want us to hear, and we've heard it. And of course, you've helped us to digest the convention in view and what we're expecting on Saturday. And of course, you've tried again to justify the reason why you have to come back, your party have to come back. And you have also justified why you as young people will support people to be in power. You know, we've all gotten all that. Now, before you go a few minutes, what words can you throw out to our viewers that are watching right now against next year's election?
Wow. Thank
Just
you.
in a few minutes.
Yeah.
In a few seconds, brother.
I want to use the opportunity to tell Nigerians that they should support a good government that is out to lift the lives of the masses, bring justice to the Nigerian people, return governance back to the Nigerian people, and recover their loot from those treasury looters. And Mr. President is focused on giving Nigerian masses the mandate which he promised them in 2015 election, that if re-elected in 2019, he's going to complete all the good works he has started.
All right. So
yeah, for me, Honorable Joe, I'm going to say almost the same thing he has said, but the truth still remains that the viewers have to really support good government, good governance, and what we are looking at in 2019, come 2019, support Muhammadu Buhari, because by the grace of God, he has a whole lot of plan and things he's thinking and putting in place to make sure that his government work better.
All right,
So
thank you very much, gentlemen from APC, of course. We'll have to add that, for coming to the studio to help us do justice to this. And of course, to Nigerian viewers, like I normally say, whether APC, ADC, NMPP, any party that's coming out tomorrow, PDP and all that. Now, there is not going to be a selection next year. It's going to be an election. So what do? You go get registered and pick up your PVCs and get ready for next year's election. And of course, let's remember again that you don't say your conscience. That is rule number 1. And then you vote according to your conscience. And then your conscience must have been justified, or, have this conviction that this person is going to deliver Nigeria. It's not about the party. It's not about the person. It's all about who will help Nigeria to move forward. Of course, down here we are still committed to, uniting Nigeria as one strong nation. And for me, it's a goodbye from National Discourse with Joe Duma. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting episode. Bye.